listening to TC Talks on TNT.
What is going on, guys? It's TC here, back with another episode of TC Talks, and today I'm going to be bringing you my Week 7 NFL predictions. But before we dive into all that, show me the YouTube love down below. That is very much appreciated, and I will show you the love in return by continuing to get these videos out to you, despite how bad some of them might be, like my Week 6 predictions. But we're here at Week 7, and we're here to give you the predictions with this flawless face, a lighted screen, and a beautiful microphone. But let's go ahead and dive into those predictions right here. Starting off, we have the Saints taking on the Cardinals, and this game should give the Commanders and Bears game last Thursday a run for its money for one of the worst Thursday night football games this season. I know the Cardinals have a lot going on in the wide receiver department. They just got DeAndre Hopkins back. They just traded for Robbie Anderson from the Panthers. There's so much going on that could make this offense that much more dynamic. But like they said, this is a short week for them. This is not something you want to try to be hurrying along, and perhaps it's not able to gel completely going into Thursday night football, which is completely okay. If they're able to make some baby steps, if they're able to complete some passes, whatever it is, moving in the right direction, that's all that really matters. That's exactly what you're hoping for these Cardinals. Meanwhile, the Saints dealing with injuries. So if they're able to hold their own in this game, I will give them all the credit, but I do see the Cardinals coming away in this one. Then the Browns take on the Ravens. And come on, Lamar Jackson, it is time to wake up. I understand, you missed a full season just about. It's time to get back into the swing of things. We want to see that good Lamar Jackson back. We want to see all that dynamic offense. We want to see you fifth in the NFL in rushing yards and fourth in passing yards. That's what we're hoping for. Nobody here at TMT or TC Talks or anything that we're a part of here is hoping for the downfall of Lamar Jackson. But what we are doing is we are going to point out when Lamar Jackson has been a little bit of a letdown. And as of late, these past few games, he has been a little bit of a letdown. Now, I understand he's been able to rack things up with his legs. That's great. Justin Fields can do that. If Justin Fields can replace you in terms of picking yards up on the ground game, why do I care? Justin Fields is on a terrible team picking up tons of yards on the ground. He cannot complete passes to save his life, and that is what I would like to see Lamar Jackson do just a little bit more. He struggled so much to end last week. He threw a pick and then fumbled the ball away. That's just not what you want to be seeing from Lamar Jackson, being in two passing situations and giving up an interception, then having the ball stripped, trying to continue a play in the pocket. It's just not a good look for Lamar Jackson, but I do suspect he's going to be able to come back against the Browns in this one. Then the Buccaneers take on the Panthers, and let's be honest, despite how bad the Buccaneers played this past week, it is the Panthers who are the bottom feeders of the NFL. Perhaps the only team worse than the Panthers is the Chicago Bears. Then you have the Falcons taking on the Bengals, and the Bengals should roll right over the Falcons, despite the fact that the Falcons have played pretty solid football this year. They're not going to be a playoff contender, but they are definitely going to be a tough team to face week in and week out. But Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase finally getting on that connection, really good to see. Then the Lions take on the Cowboys, and honestly, it's going to be all about that rush. I see the Cowboys coming away with a win in this one. Cooper Rush got to prove all those doubters wrong, prove that he's at least decent enough to go be a starter for a few games in the NFL, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to come away with a good win in this one. Then the Giants take on the Jaguars, and Trevor Lawrence has given me no confidence in him this year, so I got to go with Daniel Jones, a quarterback who gives about his equal confidence on a normal day, but out of nowhere, he deserves a little bit more respect than I've been giving him just due to the fact that his team keeps on winning. Then the Packers face the Commanders, and Aaron Rodgers gets to finally bully a team again, so he's excited. Meanwhile, the Commanders are devastated because yet again, they have to see another opposing quarterback do better than Carson Wentz. Then the Colts take on the Titans, and honestly, I want to roll Titans in this one just because Ryan Tannehill, I always liked him coming up in the league, but honestly, he is an underperformer. Meanwhile, the Colts just not playing there, and honestly, I did not think Matty Ice was going to be the situation solver for the Colts, and he hasn't been, so I think it's going to be a little bit of an interesting game just because these are two very flawed teams. but I do think I'm going to give the edge to the Colts in this one. But then the Texans take on the Raiders, and honestly, this is a battle for mid. This is the Texans' opportunity to get to the mid tier, but this is the Raiders' chance to remain in the mid tier by defeating the Texans. And honestly, I think that the Raiders have the possibility to beat this team 100%. But I feel like they're also at this nexus point where if they keep going down this dark path, if they do lose this game, it could be very dangerous for this organization. You already saw Devontae Adams get into some trouble after a loss where he would shove a fan. Not something you want to be seeing. And honestly, it could be just one person, one little incident, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. That's true. But at the same time, it could be a bigger indication of what is swelling underneath so many players there in the Raiders country. Meanwhile, the Jets take on the Broncos, and Zach Wilson, if he continues to be just as impressive as he's been. But honestly, I think that Russell Wilson's wife is old enough for Zach Wilson to consider her a mom. So Russ, look out, do whatever you have to make sure she's safe, extra higher security, whatever it is, just make sure that she is 100% secure and away from Zach Wilson, because he will be that dog both on and off the field. So watch out, Russ. It is not a good time. Jets all the way in that one. Then the Chiefs are going to bully the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo might be the most handsome man in the NFL, but that doesn't mean that Patrick Mahomes doesn't look the most beautiful when he plays football. Patrick Mahomes is going to absolutely dice up this defense, and honestly, as bad as the Chiefs defense may seem, I don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to stand a chance against this secondary. Then the Seahawks take on the Chargers, and as well as Justin Herbert has looked this year, I think Geno Smith has looked almost, if not equally, as impressive as Justin Herbert. He has just been so tremendous. That Seahawks defense also complementing them really nice. There are no upper echelon of a team, but they are definitely upper mid-tier level team. And the Chargers, they're at a point right now, because they're so banged up, because they're so disheartened, that I could see the Seahawks stealing a win from them this week. Then the Steelers take on the Dolphins, and sure, Tua is supposed to be back this week, but I don't really see that happening for the young quarterback in terms of coming back 100%. He might be able to make it on the field. He might be able to complete some passes, but I still think the Dolphins fall short in this one to the Steelers. Regardless if it's Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, it's going to be a rough going for the Dolphins. Then the Bears finalize prime time this week by taking on the Patriots, and this might be the only exciting prime time game we get for the next few weeks, because the Patriots should absolutely eviscerate the Chicago Bears. I just see the defense suffocating Justin Fields, not letting him go on those little dances to give him some yards so Justin Fields supporters could say, oh, he ran for 77 yards in addition to his 212 yards, so he got 300 yards of production. I don't care. I really don't. Justin Fields plays like trash week in and week out. Bill Belichick is going to absolutely expose him, make him look horrible this upcoming week, and you all just watch. Bailey Zappi is going to look like a freaking all-star compared to the way that Justin Fields is going to play. All-pro, give him the MVP, bench him, send him to Buffalo so he could eventually be a backup for a Steelers quarterback in Pittsburgh. That's what Justin Fields is. He's nothing better than a backup. Perhaps he'll get a resurrection in his career like Geno Smith, but until that day comes, until he's able to go out there and see that quality of play where he's not turning the ball over so much, where he's not just making stupid throws, then it's going to be a rough going for him. And I guess it's going to be a rough going for me because, hey, Chicago Bears fan here, I have to live with it week in and week out, just like you guys probably don't have to unless you are my family who I love, who decided to watch this video. We're in this together, so let's talk about it sometime. Comment section below. Thank you. Love you. You don't have to be family to do that either. You know, you can go ahead and show the love down below. That's fine. Week 7 predictions. What do you guys think? Agree, disagree? Let me know down below. Converse. Peace.